Get away from the dogs. Sally and Joe followed first one path and then another deep into the woods. The night was dark and full of animal noises, but the children ignored them. Suddenly a terrifying howl ripped through the air. And another and another. Dogs, Sally said, her face grim. Hurry! Branches slapped them in the face as they raced down the path. Joe stumbled on a tree root. Sally grabbed his arm with one hand, clutched their bundle in the other, and kept running. The dogs' brawling grew louder. Howls mixed with excited barks as the bloodhounds closed in on their prey. Sally could smell the dank odor of the river, but the dogs were gaining fast. She tore open the bundle and seized the guard Liz had given them. Scatter this, she said, handing the cornbread to Joe. Maybe it'll distract the dogs. It'll distract the dogs. Joe spread crumbs while Sally rubbed the pork on the ground and at the bottom of a hollow tree. Then Sally shoved the pork deep inside the tree. She grabbed Joe's hand and they slid down the path to the river. They gasped when they plunged into the cold water. Neither could swim, but Sally's tiptoes touched the river's bottom. She kept hold of Joe's head as they half floated down the river. The howls behind them changed to confused yips and whines. Sally sighed in relief. The dogs had lost their trail. Sail away. Both Sally and Joe knew where the North Star beckoned in the sky. For days they followed it, staying close to rivers when they cloud. Often they were hungry and cold. Always they were scared. Sometimes they were helped by free black Quakers or slaves. Most of the time they helped themselves. They hid in stables and under the floors of slave cabins, in hollow trees and behind gray stones. One evening, Joe spied a berry patch near the river they were following. They were stuffing themselves with juicy blackberries when a twig snapped. Peering through the bushes, they saw a young girl. She dropped a gray sack and strolled away singing. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? I set my foot on the gospel ship, and the ship began to sail. It landed me over on Canaan shore, and I'll never come back no more. When she was gone, the children opened the bag. Inside was cornbread and smoked fish. She sang about sailing away, Joe said. Sally nodded. Cautiously, the children looked for a boat. Coming home, Sally and Joe continued looking for a boat. Here, whispered a voice. A thin black man paddled his canoe to the riverbank. I'm Michael, he said. Heard you were coming. So did the slave catchers, but don't fret. We'll keep you safe. Michael maneuvered the canoe onto a small branch of the river and into a swamp. He steered it between the trees on one of the swamp's many water passes. Who's we? Sally asked. And why are we going into the swamp? Michael smiled. The swamp makes it mighty difficult to catch runaways, he said. There's a bunch of good folks back here. You can stay if you like, or you can rest up, then head north. The canoe floated down another pass, and suddenly there were cabins, vegetable plots, and chickens and pigs running loose. Joe clung to Sally's hand. Where are we? He asked. Sally stared at the dozens of black men, women, and children coming to greet women, and children coming to greet children, coming to greet them. The dozens of free black men, women, and children. Men, women, and children. She hugged Joe tight. Home, Joe, she said. We're home.